really respect. Like, I'm your CEO. Okay, I'm just kidding.
No.
Anyway, this is team 1 supporting. This is opposing. Let's go. You guys want to start first?
No.
You guys want to start first?
Hamada, why don't you give a synopsis of what they're talking about?
What we're talking about Proposition 1, and we're discussing the metro cuts, and we have 2 teams debating whether we should actually follow through with the cuts and say no to Proposition 1, or we should continue funding metro with the new taxes that will take in effect after Proposition 1. And anybody want to start with this debate? Yes? No?
Yeah.
All right. Dino and Patty.
You know.
You guys can bring your computers though. Okay. You guys want an extra
All the notes.
Oh wow, you guys have notes? No, I just have this.
Yeah, I have notes.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I told you guys, structure your argument.
Manpower.
We really got.
Ladies
Alright.
first.
It's gonna kill you.
No, just don't tell you.
Ladies first.
Okay, so I'll just state something. So pretty much, well, you know how like our region, which is defined by like King, Kitsap, Pierce, and Snohomish County, that's like the Puget Sound area. There's like a huge population rise. Like slowly we are increasing, but we're actually picking up. So by the Puget Sound Regional Council is forecasting a 32% population rise by 2040. And that's going to mean a lot of people, a lot of cars, and just like people going up and down all over the place. So if we were to cut like metro now, like wouldn't that affect like not only ourselves today, but like the people who are going to come and live here and create their lives here as well, making it harder for them to move and just like, I don't know, decreasing the standards of like Seattle's transportation?
And time. Ooh, Patty kind of killed you right there. Roasted. Alright.
I'd like to first point out that the conversation today isn't about cutting metro, it's about increasing funding to metro, which we believe is the wrong move to do. The thing about population increasing in the greater Seattle area is that consistently over the last 3 decades, ridership of the bus has been at 10%. So whenever, regardless of how many people are living in Seattle and beyond, it's always been 10% of people riding the bus, and then it's been like over 70% of people driving in cars, and then like 14% of people doing some other mode of transportation, whether it's bikes, stuff of that nature. So when we talk about whether or not it's okay to like disregard the next generation of people, I don't think the next generation of people is going to use the bus that often. Right now we have a record number of people using the bus, and we're not utilizing the money they're giving us in a way. The management of the Seattle bus system is going like this, but prices is going like this. What they need to do is manage their finances better so they don't have to go back to taxpayers and increase the sales tax and make a $60 jump on ticket tax. Yeah.
Time. Can we pop it up, snap? Alright. Next 2, who wants to go?
Or Patty, would you like to respond?
Or would the group like to respond as a group?
I will respond to
Stand up.
when you say $60 increase. I don't know how what you're trying to say, but I'm pretty sure nobody wants to pay $60 to ride a bus.
I'd much rather find that the $60 was increased to $60 from $20. Well, for the sticker you get when you renew your license, your driving plates, license plates.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. That makes somewhat of sense, but still doesn't apply to metro cuts or the whole transportation.
The money that you use from that, like the $20 that will now go to $60, goes directly to subsidize Seattle Metro.
However, I'm here reading that it's actually $40 now, and it will increase $20 to $60. And It says here, Prop 1 would raise sales tax by 0.1% and require vehicle owners to pay a $60 annual fee for car tax, which is $20 more than what we pay now. So either way, we were gonna pay for car tabs, and if we just pay like $20 extra, like that's gonna not just improve like our, it's not like this, the funding isn't just gonna be used for Metro directly, it's also just gonna be used for our roads where the Metro rides on, and it's a known fact that Seattle roads aren't like in the best condition. They're not known for being very, having the best condition right now. So like, not only will it be helping the buses, but it will be helping the cars that not only the buses use, but that everyone uses, right? So why not fund it?
Also, you said that in the next generation might not be using the bus that much, but I think I disagree with that. I think they will be using it because the cars and the gas is becoming more expensive, and there are more people coming and living here, and just too much cars. And I think people use the bus a lot, especially for college students. It's much cheaper than paying for gas, and they all use the bus. And I think a lot of people will use the bus.
If you cut funding, you cut bus routes and you cut times. And that's going to be an issue because people work late, people have school functions and stuff that they still have to go to, and they might not have enough money to have a car or even have enough money to have gas for a car. A bus is actually more cost efficient for people like that. And if you have times where you can't go later, it's not even safe for people that are younger that need to go to functions, events. You still want younger people to be safe, and even older people that have their jobs and all that kind of stuff. So really for even for younger generation, older generation that don't have the money to have a car or the gas for a car or don't want to bother getting around with the car in Seattle, it's actually more efficient for them. So if you're also cutting the times that they can do that and the routes and how many places they can go.
Does anybody want to respond to that? Someone, but sorry. Claudia, Shane?
Yeah, actually. So Metro recently, statistically for 2013, has received more revenue through sales tax than any other year because their sales tax is increasing. It's received a record of $442 million, and in 2014 it's suspected that it will rise quite a bit more as well. And to clarify, it's not necessarily cutting Metro, it will just be, Prop 1 is going to be taking sales tax and the $40 per car tabs towards Metro to help fund it. So it's additional funding, not cutting. So it's very necessary to use proper diction in that sense, so to make it clarified. But it is true, though, that lots of people do use Metro, but the fact that the sales tax revenue and the fare for Metro is at a price that their revenue is sustainable on their own right now, especially through sales tax, and with increasing wages and with increasing economy, thanks to Amazon and the big business downtown in Seattle, people will be spending more money, and more sales tax will be going towards Seattle Metro. Let's see here, and moreover, you were saying that yeah, I totally agree with you that highways do need a lot of help and things like that, but Prop 1 would definitely be helping out Seattle Metro as well as the highways. Why not just put more money towards the highways? Big Bertha, for example, is indefinitely suspended as it is now, and that is a very huge improvement on Seattle's highways, as well as, for example, Highway 520 has cracked pontoons and a lot of industrial stuff is leaking from the highway into the area around it. So the money that would be going towards Prop 1, we can use it on the highways. We can use it to help the city in different ways. My question, though, is why does Seattle Metro need more funding when the suspected revenue is going to be increasing for 2014 than it already has because of the increased sales tax we're seeing?
Anybody want to respond? Or Claudia, do you want to add?
I can add to this. From before, there was something like this happening before for King County, and it's for increasing by 0.2% to the bus for them to be funded more. And they promised 575,000 more hours of bus service over 6 years, and that did not happen. They only did 203 hours of the new bus service, so they didn't even
3,000.
yes 1,000 for the bus service. So they didn't even keep their promise. So how do you know that they're going to do that again?
Wait, I don't understand. What did you just say? No, like clarify. I know what you said, but
Okay,
it didn't
so
make sense.
what they promised is more hours committed to people for driving back and forth for bus schedules, and they didn't do their promise. So it was even less hours than they gave. It was even like less than half
By
what
more
they
hours,
promised.
I'm assuming you
But more hours includes
more
Yes.
intervals, like the bus comes
Yes.
in every 30 minutes, and then sometimes 1 hour. Is that what you're talking about?
As well as the rapid ride. Rapid ride was supposed to be suspected to go in a circuit like that's much quicker than just Seattle Metro, and a lot of funding has been put into rapid ride. And as a city, we haven't really seen a lot of throughput on that because rapid ride is still being constructed around the city, and there's still a lot of areas that aren't available by rapid riders. And the timing of rapid ride isn't much different from Seattle Metro buses at all. So it's really interesting to see the promises that Seattle Metro makes to our city and then fails to follow through on them, as well as the fact that this Prop 1 will be helping out Seattle specifically, and not so much the south end or the people that live on the east side of Seattle, where Seattle Metro doesn't really get towards that far out. So it would really be creating a system where the entire state has an increased tax just to help inner-city Seattle buses. So my question is, why should the entire state of Washington have to put money towards something that they don't even use? As well as the fact that it's a $60 tab fee for everybody who has a car, including low-income families and mothers who are struggling to get by with their one job and their 2 kids. Whereas, business executives who work downtown and live downtown use the buses and pay the bus fare, yet don't own a car. But they make, marginally much more money than the low-income families that live on the outskirts of Seattle, because the fact Seattle is becoming more gentrified with bigger businesses and being pushed out towards these smaller areas of Seattle, like the south side, where Seattle Metro doesn't even come. So my question is, why should we fund Prop 1?
When you refer to the south side, what part of the south side are you referring to?
I believe it's anywhere SeaTac and southward from there.
I know for a fact that the King County Metro does go down all the way there.
And I say that too.
Yeah, because I take this bus from SeaTac to here, and I've taken it down to Federal Way, and I've taken it down to Puyallup. So it does serve that area as well. It is a King County Metro, and Federal Way, SeaTac are all part of the King County, so they do get service. It may not be as heavy as it is in downtown, because in downtown, of course, there's a lot more people. However, it is used by it is used especially by like high school students. It's used to like get from to and fro places and whatnot. So yeah, those areas definitely do use the King County Metro. So
And I just want to pose a question. Is
Yeah.
it fair for Ballard and all those areas having faster service than people like you're saying, the south end? Yes, they get their service. Yes, the buses do come. But do they come at the time intervals that you want them to, or they should be, to create some type of balance or fairness between all areas of Seattle? I think that's what Shane was trying to get at.
yeah, well, I feel like those areas could definitely be improved. They're not known for their timeliness at all. I've waited for a 10-minute bus that like supposedly came every 10 minutes, and I ended up waiting 25 minutes in the cold rain because I didn't even have a proper shelter. So yeah, that was great. And it's we're definitely concentrating in like the downtown central district area, but you don't realize that King County Metro is all of King County, including all those like suburby areas that
it's also supposed to serve, but it doesn't have the same quality of service. And like I know people do use it. Like those buses are always packed and they're always dirty. And I know that if we were to have like more like if the funding was like cut or whatnot, like some form of funding was taken away, I know that that would only get worse because they're just like concentrating where there's the most users of Metro, not necessarily having everyone equal like good service or overall in King County.
And I'm from the South too. I use the bus a lot. Matter of fact, I actually took the 152nd from Auburn, all the way down there. And one thing about the time intervals is the bus is not that good. Like as far as it being on time, I don't see much of that. There's the one I use, because I take the bus a lot to school, even from my house to school to even to get here, and it getting cut is just not. It's not gonna be any beneficial to anybody at all. And one other thing about economy, if you have people moving, if you have people getting to work, people getting to do what they need to do, then you're gonna help the economy, because people are gonna be able to work, get to work, obtain money, and buy things. So that's gonna boost the economy. And one other thing, as far as effectiveness goes and efficiency, I don't see much of that with Metro. The Rapid Ride is pretty effective as far as it being on time and not people not having to wait for it. So some of the buses actually have this thing whereby they go to one end and then they come back and then they have to go to the base.
Sorry to
and that wastes a lot of time.
Sorry to interrupt you, but Shane specified facts. Like you can't go against facts.
I'm talking about experience firsthand, because I take the
Your
bus.
experience is not the same experience as maybe Rueda, Patty.
Actually, I live in the South, and everything
Okay,
he
wrong
said
group.
is
I
true.
asked the wrong group. Shannon, Claudia, or Dino. But anyway, I want to stop you right there. Any last thoughts, especially by Eurobot in here at Western here? Anything? All right, so I'm gonna let you wrap this up. I'm gonna have two people probably get up again and just wrap up their group's argument, and just finish it off with a closing statement. So who wants to do that? Dino can volunteer for that one. Started off pretty nicely too.
Right. So I think that the main thing that our group is really trying to push is that we're not anti-bus at all. We're not anti-bus. We think it's a great thing to have a big bus system in Washington State and in the Seattle area. We think it's very great that buses help improve the environment and help low-income people get to the places they need to go, and help business people not have to go out and buy a car that they don't need and pollute the earth a little bit more. What we're saying is we don't think that the King County Metro needs more funding. In the past, they've gotten funding and they've misused it, as he pointed out. We don't need to keep subsidizing and keep raising sales tax every single time they say that they have a funding gap. And then they're just going to keep having funding gaps, and we're just going to keep raising sales tax, even though we have one of the highest sales taxes in the nation. What we're simply saying is that instead of saying, oh, vote for Proposition 1, or we're going to cut all these routes from Seattle Public Metro, we want them to look at themselves, look at where they're spending their money, and just readjust it so that the record number of people using Seattle Metro right now, the money that they use to ride the bus will make it so that they don't need our taxpayer money to run the bus system. You don't need to raise sales tax and raise tabs to $60 to run the bus system. All you need to do is realign your management, cut some spending here, cut some spending there, and everybody can get on the bus for a nice price, price and get to their job or wherever they need to go. That's all we're trying to say. So vote no.
Hey. All right, does anybody want to finish your groups off with a closing argument?
I could attempt, but I don't know what I'm talking about.
You're supporting, right?
Okay. Here.
Yes, you guys
Okay.
Alright,
Okay.
alright.
So, I mean, one of the last statements I really want to point out is that, like, the people who use the metro, like, yeah, you say, like, the low-income mom may not be able to afford that $60 tab fee, you know? However, how many low-income moms actually have a car? They usually use metro, and it's usually the people who are from lower-income backgrounds that use it as well. And just addressing the misusing the money issue, I know for a fact that the Metro has cut $726 million from their budget since 2009. So they have been trimming the fat. They have been trying to like find new creative ways to like spend their money more wisely. However, they are in a need of like more money and just being able to offer the same services for like the disabled, for people who can't use cars, or people who can't buy cars and whatnot, or just like maintain a car. So I feel like, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, like the city people use the car, and then like the poor people that do have cars have to pay for like the city people thing. But in all honesty, I feel like that's just like everyone. Like I feel like, yeah, it's everyone from different backgrounds uses it. So it may be, yeah, it might be like that fancy business executive down to like the low-income mother that uses it as well. And the fact that Metro has been trying to cut how much money they've been using really shows how much they're trying to do, and they need a little more help this time around. So I feel like, yeah, that's how it should be done.
And vote for Proposition 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, so good clap, and let's bring that to a close.